Hello everyone. So if you are interested in watching me make a collage inspired by this book, Mark Hearld, who is a collage artist and a lithographer and a lino printer, then that's what we're going to do today. I created this collage inspired by Mark Hearld on a background inspired by Rex Ray. There's a lot of inspiration going here. So if you'd like to watch me create this thing, because I had no idea what I was going to make, then that's what we're going to do in this video today. And I look forward to seeing you over at my paint table. See you soon. Okay, guys. I'm getting ready to try something that's been in my mind for days since I created all of these papers. Hold on. Since I created these papers using Yolande Alexander's stencils and stamps, and since I bought this book. So this book, this is not a new artist, and actually this book has been out for probably 14 years. This is Mark Hearld, who is a British artist who works in lithograph, stamps, and collage. I saw an artist reviewing it, and I'm inspired by some things in this book. I'm just going to flip through it while I'm telling you stories. So he paints his own papers, and he carves his own stamps, and he creates art that doesn't specifically speak to me, but some of it actually does. What I really like that he does, I used to hand carve a ton of stamps, and I really like the very rustic, hand-done, like almost like a modern vintage type of look, which I have interpreted into my museware pottery work. You know, this looks like something that I would draw. So I'm not necessarily into creatures and stuff like that, but I really do like the simpleness of this. I like the collage of this. This particular image keeps playing in my mind of these birds swooping. So what I have, and I'll go through this another time with you if you're interested, but what I have is another canvas that I bought at a thrift store. I've covered it partially with gesso, black gesso. This I know looks random. It's obviously a snowflake, but I was watching a channel online cut up papers, fold them a certain way, and cut them into these shapes, which feels different than the way I've been doing with my little arches and cutting things up and covering it, but it just feels kind of interesting. So I don't know where this is going to go, but we're both going to find out at the same time because I'm getting ready to do this. Okay, I'm going to just, I'm going to start. I'm going to start with this. I'm going to cut out what a commenter called arches, which I like having a way of describing these. I'm going to cut out these arches, and I'm going to glue them down exactly the way I've been gluing down this past, 4 collages that I've made, because I got some unexpected results that gave me, I was highly entertained by it. And based on some of your comments, you were as well. So the only thing that I'm going to be covering up here is this partially painted thing that has a giant seashell underneath it. We're going to get that gone. Okay, so what I have for supplies today are some liquid gel medium, which is what I call glue, but it's just, I get it from Nova Colors. And I'm just going to start gluing some stuff down here, and I'm not even going to get precious about it because I'm not. I'm just gonna do this. Make sure you can see everything. I'll start out with this large one. Yeah, I have found, and there are some of you that are repeat offenders coming back to my channel, and some of you that are new. I have been using this same cutout shape over and over again to create backgrounds, because at least for the experimentation that I'm doing right now, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what goes down because everything covers it up. So I'm going to do the next size down. And this will actually be easier to read than my last one, which was so many kinds of chaos that you really couldn't even, you could see what I was doing, but barely. So you saw that I cut these little arches out, and I just put them opposite one another and just glue them down. And what it does is something extraordinary to space. It just breaks it up in a way that, even though it's the same shape over and over again, it just feels highly unpredictable. And I'm kind of excited about it as a starting place. There's several artists that I follow. And a lot of artists, like the person coming to mind right now is, I never can remember her name, Betty Franks. She starts out covering her paper, you know, her canvas with scribbles of marks, and then she puts collage paper down. I mean, puts black paint down, just like I've done now. And in the end, you see almost none of it. And I remember watching it and thinking, why bother if you're just going to cover it up? And I'll tell you why bother. Why bother? Because you have to start somewhere. And this is what I'm learning, and part of the reason why my art practice has become a great source of joy for me and not a great source of tension, because it doesn't matter. How am I going to do this? Let's do this way. You just have to get something down that gives you something to respond to, and then you respond. And that's what I'm doing right now. And I'm going to do the same thing. Cut this up. So one of the things I also said in my last video is, you know, when I rather more enjoy making art when I don't have a plan, because I'm not sure how capable I am of making the images that I see in my mind happen in 3D. I'm going to open these all up so that they're visible to me. Yeah, so I do have a picture in my mind, which I did when I did my spirit ladder, the collage with, you know, with my son and ancestors. I did have that in my mind. And it came out kind of looking like what I wanted. This I really don't know. We're going to find out. We just had the best thunderstorm go tearing through here, because I don't really watch the news or listen to the weather or do any of that kind of stuff. When we have stuff like that, it's kind of a big surprise for me, which I like it. Cause like back in the olden days, if you wanted to know what the weather was going to be, you just kind of looked out the window. Now we're checking our apps and it's telling us in 15 minutes it's going to rain, and it actually does. Kind of amazing. Yeah, it was a great thunderstorm. It tore through. I went outside and made my umbrella go down so that it didn't catapult it across the neighbor's yard like it did last year, break all of its arms. Okay, now look at these fun shapes. Those stencils that I worked with yesterday, was that just yesterday? That was just yesterday. Were a great deal of fun. I have to admit I was nervous about working with them, because I'm so much like do what I feel like doing, not following I don't know, like a plan. And in order to work with somebody else's work, you have to, you know, have some sort of a plan. But I was really pleased with the way these papers came out.
All right, this is a brand new song I just finished writing here. I'm going to try to get through it for you here. Here we go. Looked in the mirror, what did I see? Old man staring back at me with tired eyes. I remember when I was young, thought I could fly above the sun, watch me fly. The world is my oyster, it's laden with pearls, won't you fly? I've told some tall stories, I've sang my own songs. We're just looking for some place to belong, to get by. Short road before us, a long one behind. You're afraid to see what you might find, you won't shine. World is your oyster, all laden with pearls, won't you shine? I felt love and I'm blessed with friends. If I could do it all over again, I would try. Done some good things, but I've done some bad. Taking for granted all the good things I have with blind eyes. The world is my oyster, it's laden with pearls, watch me fly. Good Lord, how fast these years have passed. Pray many more before the last, before I die. Some memories get here, some fade away. Don't put off love if you can love today, go and fly. I'm sad I can't be what I used to be, but you'll be surprised with these old eyes see, that's why I fly. World is my oyster, it's laden with pearls, watch me fly. World is my oyster, all laden with pearls, watch me fly.
All right, well, there you go. That's a rough cut of the new one.
So, let's see. This is a total experiment, but it's kind of fun. Now I've got all these fun little shapes that I could do something with. We'll see what that is. Now I'm almost wishing I had done this in a more significant color, you know, more noticeable. But really the experiment is, how can I break up this space? I'm just gonna, I do like that black and white. I'm gonna just glue it right down here. And this might be, I don't know how hard this is gonna be to glue, but let me tell you what I did learn about this. Do not, under any circumstance, cut this out and put it on your gel plate and think you're gonna pull it, because you are not. You are gonna pull it in 10,000 pieces. And you are going to rue the day that you ever got the big idea to put a cut up thing on your gel plate. Yeah, so back to my mom. My mom is a modern girl for a 90-year-old woman. I bet a lot of you guys are too. She's got a pain in the ass daughter, me, who she is hopelessly in love with, and God bless her. Oh, this is going to be, all right, so this might be harder to do than I thought. Smooth out the wrinkles with the wedge, and let's see if we can't tear it into shreds. It won't matter, nobody's gonna see it. Look at this, is all falling off. It's okay, I'm not even gonna bother trying to fix it. I'm just going to. Now that didn't do anything, but that was a worthy exercise to see if it was gonna do anything. I'll stand on the chair in a minute and I'll be able to tell if it was worth the effort or not. But if it had been a brighter color or a different color, let me see. No, that doesn't look like anything at all. All right, well, it was an experiment, and I'm not done with it because it's captured my imagination and I can see myself doing it. But maybe I might want to scale these things down because those are hard to smooth down. All right, yeah. So part of the story, because I can tell that this is going to be a long collage, part of the story about my mom is that I was watching a video the other night. So I have some vision issues, and you know, mainstream medicine knows how to treat, for the most part, glaucoma and wet macular degeneration. But the doctors freely admit that they don't have any idea. That is chaos. I don't really like it. They don't really have any idea why we have it, why we get it. You know, so they put medicine to make the symptoms go away, but nobody's trying to solve the problem because, you know, to be honest, you know, medicine it's big business. Guys, I was packing it up and I started looking at this book, and I just want to tell you what I'm thinking about before I call it a day, because it's a change of plans. Okay, so hold on a second. I don't like where this is going, and that's not to say that I can't cover it all up and stuff, but I would like to, rather than cover it all up, I would like to change gears. So what I'd like to do instead is look at this differently. I still need some work on. I actually like the way this part looks. Looking for the top. I like the way this part looks. Gluing down that snowflake was not well advised. However, you know what I did learn? How about next time I do this? Because this would be a whole lot easier to deal with than all that sticky glue. But anyways, so you guys don't know this, but back in the day, well, maybe some of you do. Back in the day, I had a personalized pottery company, and I'll put pictures up so you can see what I used to do. And I was also very much into carving my own stamps. So I have a very large library of hand-carved stamps, which I'm digging out while I'm talking to you, because this video is impromptu. I thought I was done for the day. But here I am. These are just my top 3 trays in no particular order. Alphabets, stuff like that. Okay. So I carved all these stamps because I used to do art licensing, where I had an agent and he would represent me to manufacturers and they'd put my art on their stuff. When I'm looking at this guy, so you can see they're cute, they're funky, they're a little, they're wonky and stuff like that, but they're cute. They've got an attitude, kind of like this. I mean, this is definitely hand carved. He's using a different material. He's using a different rubber than I use, but that is this. So I'm going to change gears and I'll do my house with birds another time, but I'd like to use this as inspiration. I don't know where that's going to go, but what I'm kind of picturing, where do I put this? Let me put this here. I'm kind of picturing, let me go back to this. I'm picturing some sort of focal point in the middle, and I don't know if it's a tree or a bird or a freaking house. It's something, some sort of focal point here. And one of the things that this guy does is he frames his work. This is based on a 1940s technique that they used to do before they could afford framing. So they would pin them up on the wall with these frames. So the idea that's in my mind is to take the idea of this. I love the black and the white, but this is white on newsprint, so I would do it on newsprint. Some sort of frame around here. This is going to be so much fun. Are you kidding me? I'm wicked excited about it. And then some sort of focal point in the middle. By the time I come back to this tomorrow, I may have come up with some conclusions because I'm going to sketch this tonight, because I have to tell you I am wicked excited about this. That and this. This is a little bit going back to my roots, guys. This is work that I did back in 2014, and kind of psyched. So I just wanted to just come back in and tell you what I'm thinking about, and that's it. Bye. Oh my God, I keep saying that I'm going to go make dinner, but I'm kind of trapped here, guys, because now this is the kind of thing that keeps me asleep, keeps me awake at night. All right, I'm doing the same thing. I am not going to break tradition because so far it has served me until I got a little lost on this last layer, but that's minor. All right, there's one. This has a color combination that I did not plan. It kind of happened because my paint clogged, but I really do like it, and I like the shapes. And since what I'm putting it over here is mostly, blue, similar color, I think this might be an interesting. I'm going to leave that for now. I'll tell you, I saw that picture the other day, but it didn't, it spoke to me. I recognized it because that's the type of work I used to do. I've got all these birds and reindeer and freaking partridge in a pear tree and skulls and all kinds of cute stuff. Okay. I like that, and I'm going straight down, and then I really am going to call it a night because I'm hungry. I'm a hungry hippo. Okay. Okay. So I know I'm quiet. Maybe what I'll do is just be quiet and let Russell play quietly for you, because I am worn out. In a good way, though. This is actually very exciting for me. Yeah, so let Rusty play guitar, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Hey guys, it's a brand new day. It's a brand new day, and this is completely dry, and you cannot tell that I have put this much effort into it, but I think I showed you yesterday that I've got this alternative plan that it has evolved while I'm going through this, and I'm going to allow myself to follow it, because what I originally had planned for this is I don't see it materializing. It's not going to happen. So the next thing that I'm going to do, and this is not a talking thing, is I'm going to create a hand-stamped border to go around this thing. And I'll let you watch me. It'll probably be a music background because it's going to be repetitious. Stamping is repetitious. But I'm going to come up with something to frame this so that I can figure out what I'm going to feature in the middle. The idea that I have is I'm going to just quickly show you. I've got several trays. I use these cookie trays from the dollar store to organize all my stamps. So I've got a bunch of random stamps here that are all kind of what I call geometric. They're patterns, they're repeats and stuff like that. So I've got, these little round things. These are patterns that would interlock and create an all-over pattern. And then here's just some sort of botanical looking things which might come into play later, but I think they're going in the away pile. See what happens if you don't get your whole palm involved. Minor, but if you'd like a good impression, you want to get your whole palm involved. And I won't actually know if this is going to be, if this is going to look good together. I'm kind of going by that example that I showed you in that Mark Hearld book, which is, more informed. He's been doing this for a good while. So hand-carved stamps add a very interesting element of, of wonkiness. It's a word I keep going to because I'm not really sure what else to call it. Wonkiness to your work. That has a very distinctive look. So what Mark Hearld is doing, he's not making hand-carved stamps necessarily. He's making what they call lino cuts, which is similar to carving stamps, but with more intent. I'm just curious to see how these might read on here. But I think once I put something larger in the center of this, that'll calm it down. Tell you what I'm thinking here. I'm thinking that this is going to be secondary to this. I feel like I need to create my focal point first with whatever is going to feed up into it, and possibly deal with these things later. Okay, actually, what I'm coming to realize is that I am going through some exercises which are going to help me figure some things out, but really the edges are going to respond to the middle. Having camera shyness, I had to draw this bird over and over again on a piece of blank newsprint to be able to get a reasonable approximation of the shape that I want to deal with. And even that is not exactly, I've got a picture in my mind, and the unfortunate thing about having a picture in my mind is a better artist than my hands. So I'm not quite sure how to get what I have in my mind. Let me get that out of there. I don't know how to get that. So just going to have to train my hands by making mistakes and making things not awesome. Boy, trying new stuff is hard, guys, but it's worth doing. It's worth doing. And I'm also trying to work with recognizable shapes, which is not something that I do, and certainly not something that I do well. Let's see if I can repair my, where does your, that goes on top. Repair my little shredded bird head. I can hear my neighbor outside. It was 4th of July last night, and this guy set off probably $1,000 worth of fireworks, which he does every year. And the grand finale was quite remarkable in the sense that it had a beat to the explosions. It wasn't just a visual experience. It was actually an auditory experience as well. Okay, let me clean that off. Maybe I'll try putting the glue on the back side of it instead of everywhere. Although it is a really pretty sunny day today, so I can put this stuff outside to dry, which I did with the black papers that I just printed off camera, because you don't need to see me paint black pictures, black paintings. A little higher. Okay, I got a black bird. Not a very fancy one, but I can make it fancy. Yeah, so he's out there cleaning up the debris. It was falling on my house like rocks. And one of the young teenagers that lives over there, or that comes to visit, let off something that sounded like, I don't know, like it came from a tank. And I was asleep on the couch when he did it. And I was not asleep anymore after that sound. Okay, I have a bird, guys. This is a bird. What I want to do now is, I want to show you the picture again so I can show you my inspiration, what is motivating this direction. Okay, is this bird with these botanical things around it. This is, I have to tell you, this is going to be a real loose interpretation. I don't have the skills to do any of this stuff, but I can cut out little shapes and put them around it. to tell you, some of you will remember this, many of you may not. My brother Russell he's a musician. He's the guy who plays the music in the background. He's also a motorcycle mechanic. He used to race motorcycles professionally. So his body's all beat up. But where's that place? Might want to fix that somehow. Let me just see how. So anyways, he's got a channel. I encouraged him to start a channel because I thought it would be really fun for him, and he actually did. And he's learning how to do things. And I've become the mentor because even though I've only been doing this for, well, it's July now, so I've been doing it for 6 months. I started New Year's Eve. And I've really, really been enjoying myself because this has got me making art. So my brother's channel is called Oldilocks Garage. And if you guys have any old men in your life, and we're not old men, I'm sorry about it, not old men. If you've got some mature motorcycle riders who are into vintage motorcycles and would like to watch another mature man talk about and fix up vintage motorcycles, then I encourage you to go visit my baby brother. And I am also trying to encourage him to play music for you with some more variety. Okay, I'm going to call this, for this minute, done. I can see that I want to bring that line there, but I can do that with Posca pen. So I'm going to go put this out in the sun and contemplate the meaning of life. BRB. Okay, I think I'm getting ready to do some pen work. So I've just got a handful of Posca pens. This is white in 2 different colors of green because there's areas where the black is losing the definition. And I might just want to clean those up. So I have those. And I also have my favorite Uniball Signo pens in gold, black, and white. And I like these because they make really good detailing. And I don't know what kind of scale I need for detailing on this. These are large shapes that might need, we'll find out. We'll find out. So I realized, just so you know, I realized that I have started and not finished a number of stories on this video, but I'm winding down. I need to get I need to finish this thing up because I'm very encouraged by how fun and playful this is, and I'd like to try something again in this concept. So I'm going to draw, and my brother's going to play guitar for you, and I'll talk to you in a couple of minutes. Okay, guys. I think I might be done, although I do see some tying those together with some, I don't know, like this kind of thing, but it might be too much. So I'll just put a couple while I'm saying my closing statements, my closing arguments. So this is a departure, from what you're used to seeing from me. So this is a Mark Hearld inspired collage, inspired by Rex Ray, inspired by you guys, and I actually am getting a very large kick out of this thing. I can see stuff I'd like to fix or I would do differently, but this was a very fun project, and I thank you for coming along with me on it while I experiment and add too many layers and all that jazz. So, I don't know who this guy is. That doesn't really read that well, but I like the little feathers and stuff. I like the little gold details on this. I think I should sign my name. Where will it go? How about right there? Just need something to give me a perch. Okay, it is signed, which in my mind is kind of like a closing statement that I completed a work. So thank you for watching this video with me. Thank you for coming along on my journey and continuing to come along. I would like it if you would like and subscribe and tell your friends about me, because I would like to keep doing this, and I'd like other people to join me as well. Oh, I missed some stuff, but I can do that. All right, I just want to detail these leaves while I'm saying goodbye to Russell's Music. I'll put my brother's channel address below, so that if you've got some husbands that want to watch an old guy talk about motorcycles, and he knows what he's talking about. So if you've got questions, if you've got something going on with your bike that is giving you the fits and you can't figure out what it is, ask my brother. He might be able to help you diagnose it. He's a pretty skilled guy. Okay, Bird on a Wing, that's the name of it. A little bit busy, but a little bit fun. So thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you, and I look forward to seeing you again. Thank you. Bye.